it comes to yachts, there's luxury you can feel, there's luxury you can see. But what about luxury you can hear? I'm here today with KICKER to talk about how KICKER Marine Audio can level up your onboard audio experience. Let's take a look. So KICKER has a long history in audio, but talk to us a little bit about what the R&D process is like to bring KICKER Marine Audio to market.
Well, how about we go to the laboratories and take a look?
Let's do that.
So we're entering research and development. It's the single largest team at KICKER, more than 30 people on this team, and they're responsible for creating all the audio products that we produce. This lab is the research part of research and development, and this is where the technologies are being developed for the next 5 and 10 years.
So when you're developing products and you have such a global distribution, are you also developing products for specific markets because the needs in Spain may be different than the needs in the United States?
Yes. In Europe they have DAB audio standard, which is basically it's a digital audio broadcast, but it's not the same one we use here in America. So we have to design products specifically for the European market. But if that boat comes into US waters, you want it to work here too. So it has to be dual purpose. So this is more of the development side. This team is working on current products and they're validating. So they take a design and they may prove that it does work the way we intended to, or maybe it doesn't work the way we intended to.
Once the idea gets here and you're going through the testing protocol, are you still on a timeline to get that to market and like, we have to solve this now? or you will sit there and say, you know what, let's push pause, we're not there yet.
This is an amplifier that's specifically designed for underwater use. So this amplifier has to be completely waterproof. We had one of these in a fish tank for a year, underwater, hooked up and playing. But because the KICKER customer has very high expectations, we take the time necessary. So back to your question, if it's not right, we don't ship it because our reputation's on the line. This is the perfect listening environment for speakers. And this is where Mr. Steve Irby will sit right here in a chair, and he'll have a little switcher, and he will listen to the speakers and make sure they sound exactly the way he wants them to sound. And then they're ready for sale.
It's so incredibly quiet in here, it's almost a little scary.
Yeah. Now, you said quiet, let's go across the hall to the really quiet stuff. So this is a semi-anechoic chamber. This is actually for torturing speakers. So we'll take like a subwoofer, for example, we'll put it in this room and we'll run power into it. And it has to play rated power, full output, for hours and hours and hours, because our customers will play their music at full tilt all day until the batteries die. So when the speaker breaks, that's when we know, okay, that's the point at which it failed. And if it fails before it's supposed to, then it's not done yet. It's not reliable enough.
You know, so we've talked a lot about the research and development phase, how KICKER brings products to market, but now we're actually going to talk about products. So could you walk us through this new marine product?
You bet, yeah. This is the new M-Class line for us, Patrick. We've got several models, including some full-range speakers here. We've got the subwoofer, and then we've got actually a loaded subwoofer enclosure. We've got a fair amount of power handling going into these, and as we design power handling in a product, we start running into thermal issues. And so we're using some specific materials to address the demands of the environment we put the speakers into. For example, this is a glass-filled nylon basket that you see here on all of these products. That glass-filled nylon has a much higher heat resistance compared to other injection molded materials. We use that for its heat capabilities.
I am here with Steve Irby, founder of KICKER, and we're here to talk about KICKER's history and their marine business.
You know, my history was playing music and got started, building products for the band.
Right.
And so in high school, I built my first speaker for my keyboard. The drummers all play too loud, you know.
Right.
And so the drummer was too loud and I couldn't hear myself, and told my dad I need a bigger speaker, but he found some plans for a big bass reflex cabinet with a 15-inch speaker, and I bought a used amp, and he helped me build that, and that was kind of the start of my craziness in making speakers.
So you go from band, PA sound systems, you go into audio. When was the pivot to the marine?
That was probably in the early 2000s, you know. Car audio is obviously a 12-volt industry, and so, you know, as time goes on, you're looking for growth areas, and you know, marine is 12 volt. You know, we realized, hey, you know, we have the ability to do this, and we learned as we went. You know, that's kind of the way, that's my life story. You learn as you go, you know.
Right. 52 years in, you still feel this every morning? You feel this passion for audio?
I usually feel pain first thing in the morning. Once I get past that. No, I wouldn't be here if I didn't love what I do.